So we'll start laying down. I'm going to start seated so I can talk to you, but let's start. So we've got a 60-minute really slow restorative practice. I'm practicing with you on a Sunday night, or if you're watching it recorded, whatever day it is for you. So I'm going to start in a comfortable seated position, so you can start there if that feels right, or I'd recommend starting laying down, maybe with a bend in the knees, feet into the mat. Option to see if you can let the knees fall into the center, the feet a little bit wide. And then just find a comfortable place of stillness. And the practice tonight is going to be kind of based on the yin practice of yin. Sorry, the yin practice of yin. The yin practice of yoga. So the more restorative, meditation pranayama style of yoga. So as always, before we start to practice, just find a place of stillness for the body and the mind. If you're seated, then maybe let your hands fall on the knees. If you lay down, then hands either side of the body with the palms facing up, so the back of the hands nice and relaxed into the ground. Before we start to go into the practice, just noticing what it is that you bring into the mat this evening. Noticing if you're bringing any tiredness, any pain, any of the negative connotations or sensations that you need to release through the practice. Maybe some anxiety about the future, or maybe you feel quite balanced and a good sense of well-being. Just checking in with what's happening with you today, noticing how the body feels. Noticing what it feels like to be completely still. So not moving any part of the body, letting the body be heavy. And considering what we do all day, every day, this is quite challenging to be still. The more we practice, the more we can find that stillness with ease. Remind the body that when we are still, it's a chance to rest, recharge the batteries, and check in with our physical and emotional self. So just noting the natural rate of the breath. Maybe it's a bit shallow, maybe it's deep. And I'm going to invite you here to set an intention for the practice. So that intention can be for the next 60 minutes, maybe something you want to release in the practice. Or maybe something that you're working for more on a long-term basis, maybe for this week, maybe something long-term permanently. Just really starting to listen to the inner voice, what it is that you're working for. Keeping that intention in your mind for the rest of the practice. And if you're struggling with any inspiration for an intention, then maybe joining me in my intention for this evening, which is going to be to just enjoy complete stillness. And use it as an opportunity to let go of any of the negative things that the body and mind can collect throughout the day and the week. So starting to engage with the breath. Start to deepen the inhale through the nose and deepen the exhale through the mouth. As you inhale through the nose, see if you can inhale from the stomach. And as you exhale from the mouth, really let go of any muscles in the chest and the shoulders. So as you inhale through the nose, see if you can let the chest and the throat stay a little bit still, but really push the inhale to the belly. And then exhale through the mouth. Let's see if we can breathe as slow as possible. So we're going to take a deep inhale through the nose. See if you can go for the count of 4. And then exhale through the mouth for 4. Inhale, see if you can go to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale, release. Inhale, see if you can go to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Inhale again, and this time inhaling for as long as you can. So really taking in the breath to the nose, right to the bottom of the stomach. Fill that stomach with air, really push the belly button out as you make the belly Buddha out like a Buddha belly with the breath, as long as you can. And then when you get to the very top and you feel like you can't take any more air in, see if you can sip a little bit extra. And then exhale, release. So we're going to do this 5 times. So at your own pace, don't worry about following my count, but see if you can take a deep inhale for as long as you can. Making sure that the breath is coming from into the stomach and not the throat. So to help this, you can even put your hand on your stomach and your throat. And as you take an inhale, you should feel the belly rise. And the throat should be nice and relaxed. And as you exhale, everything should be completely fluid and loose. Completely relaxed. Inhaling in. Seeing if you can find your count of 5 or 6, maybe even 7. If 4, 3 or 2 is your limit, then just work with what you've got, but just try and lengthen the inhale and exhale. And then release on the exhale, nice and heavy. 2 more of these. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose. And then when you feel like you can't breathe in anymore, just take a little last sip of air. And then exhale, release. One last breath in. Inhale deeply. From the belly, relax the shoulders, relax the throat as you breathe in. Notice how the body feels as we slow down the breath. And then release. Starting to connect the breath more to an equal rate of breath. So I'm going to come down and join you laying down with the knees bent. We're going to start to breathe equal breath, so some vriti breath, which making sure that you're working to a pace that works for you. Let's pick a number, so either 2 or 3 or 4, and we're going to take an inhale in for that count, so maybe 3. And then you're going to exhale for the same count. So whatever feels right for you, just practice that a couple of times. So inhaling in and exhaling out for equal amount of time. And then we're going to start to work with the legs and the hips this evening. To inhale your knees towards your chest. Keep the head and the neck and the shoulders nice and relaxed onto the mat or the bed. Give yourself a hug in with the knees. So right hand on right knee, left on left. And see if you can separate your knees out so that when you hug your knees in, you're almost bringing your knees towards your armpits, not towards the middle of the chest. So you get an opening in the hip, but at the same time, we're bringing the hips closer. And then we're going to start rocking from left to right. So this can be really gentle, small movements. We just start to gently rock left to right and continue with equal breath. So inhaling, exhale out. And then instead of rocking from side to side, you're going to take it to circles. So bring the knees towards you and then left and then forward and then round. Nice big circles. You can go the opposite way from right to left, whichever way you are. And then gently come back to center. And then you're going to release the left leg to the floor. And this time we're just going to hold right knee towards the chest. So right knee can go on the shin if you can. If you can't quite hold your shin, then you can just put your right hand on your right knee. Either way, we're going to use the breath to bring that right leg a little bit closer. So let's start by making sure the left leg is nice and heavy. You can straighten the left leg if that feels easier, but it can be quite nice to keep a bend in the knee, even if it's a very slight bend. And then on the inhale, take a breath in. On the exhale, bring that right knee a little bit closer to the right armpit. Inhale in deeply. Exhale, take that right knee a little bit closer towards the armpit. So we're trying to open into the hips. We're trying to get into the deep muscles of the socket of the right hip. And we're going to use the breath. So we're inhaling deeply. Exhale, just let your body go a little bit further into the stretch. Let the knee come a little bit closer to the shoulder, the armpit. Noticing if the body is leaning over towards the right. It's really common, really natural. See if you can just straighten up the body so that the torso is nice and straight. And it's just the leg that's kind of opening up very slightly with the hip to the right. Let's take 3 big deep breaths in here. Inhale in, exhale out. Inhale in. On the exhale, we move further into the pose, so we bring that right knee a little bit closer towards the armpits. One more deep breath in. Deep breath out. On the next inhale, let's straighten that right leg towards the sky. So if your leg needs to keep a bend in the knee, that's absolutely fine. Maybe if you straighten it, you can rotate it a little bit lower. The idea here is that we're going to get a stretch to the back of the right thigh. So grab and hold to the back of the right leg if you can. If you can't, then just finding a place where you can get that right leg as straight as possible. And we're just going to work with that sensation first of all. So let's just close down the eyes. And with that right leg nice and straight, the body should be heavy into the floor. Make sure that the shoulders are a little bit relaxed. So if you're reaching up to reach your right arm, maybe bring your arm a little bit lower so the shoulders can relax. Just notice the muscles of the back of the leg. They're tight, are the hamstrings tight, is the calf tight? Not trying to change any of these things. That's not what we're trying to do in Yin. We're accepting them as they are. Resisting any urge to change. And just working with what the body's got going on today. Pushing that heel towards the ceiling. See if you can stretch out the back of that leg a little bit further. Take 2 deep breaths in here. And then when you're ready, bend that right knee, give that right knee a hug in towards the chest. And then once more, we're going to straighten that leg back up to the sky. This time, option to release the arms. You can keep the arms behind the back of the right leg if that feels nice. But releasing them can make the stretch go a little bit further as it's not got the support of the hands. And then option to stay there if that feels okay. Otherwise, you're going to take that right leg very slightly out to the right. So you could even just move it very, very minuscule movements, a couple of centimeters, an inch. See if you can take it out a little bit more and just get a nice stretch down the inner of that right thigh. Remembering what a stretch is. So we're trying to release any of the tension in the muscles. We're trying to create some length. We're trying to send fresh blood and oxygen to that area. And also releasing any emotional tension that's built up in the body. So really use the breath here. Take a deep breath in. And in the exhale, make sure that right leg's as straight as you can. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, give that right leg a big squeeze. And then relax that right leg onto the floor. Keep the left knee bent and the right leg's going to be straight out in front of you. And for a moment, let's just connect back in with the breath. Let's place the hands on top of the belly button. So one hand on top of the other. Find a place of stillness. Take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. Remembering your intention. Just acknowledging the fact that we've still got the majority of this practice left. So just connect back in with the breath, connect in with the muscles. Start to learn to accept where we are. Let go of any negative feelings. Let go of any fear or anger that's built up. And release any tension that is built up in the body and the mind. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then when you're ready, bending that right knee. Right foot comes into the floor. And then the left foot, straighten that towards the sky. And if you can, you're going to grab hold of the back of the left leg. If you can't quite reach, if you've got maybe like a blanket or a towel or a belt, you can put that down around the back of your left leg. Hand isn't necessary. And the idea here is not to kind of yank the left foot closer up towards the sky or the left leg to be straight. The idea is to get that left leg straight. So it might even be that you're still just a little bit on the ground. Try not to have an idea of what the pose should look like. It's what the pose should feel like. So close your eyes. Let's just connect in with the left leg. So we're connecting in with the awareness. We're connecting with how that hamstring feels. We're not getting frustrated or trying to change it, but we're just noticing. Noticing our resistance to come out of pose. Just sit with the sensation of the left leg. Push that heel to the sky. Inhale in deeply. Exhale out. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hook that right knee in towards you. Give it a little bit of a rest before we straighten one more time. And then when you're ready, straighten that left leg to the sky. And then gently take that left leg out towards the left. So you should have a bit of a stretch on the inner of the left thigh here. Again, make sure that the body's not kind of falling over to the left. We want the back to be nice and flat onto the ground. Straighten that left leg and just play with this. So you can even bring the leg a bit towards you and then take it out to the left. Take it away from you and take it out to the left. Just be really curious. And when your body feels the tension, just notice your tendency to say, oh, I don't like that, I'm going to move out. See if you're going to hold where the tension is and breathe and release. The body is clever, but sometimes it just needs a bit of persuasion to relax. So sometimes it can tell us to not hold into that pose because there is tension or the stretch is a bit difficult. But in our practice in yoga, we can make more space by sitting with that stretch with breath. Take one more breath and then gently put that left knee in. And let's hug both knees back into the body. So wrap your arms around your shins and let's really hug the knees in as much as you can. And then when you're ready, we're going to move towards a twist. So releasing the feet to the ground. To set up for a twist, I want you to walk your feet far away from each other as they can. And then let the knees fall into center line. So really walk the feet out and let the knees fall in. So right hand's going to come on top of your right hip and left on your left hip. If your eyes have opened, then just gently close them down and bring your attention inwards. Notice what's happening under the left and the right hand. The hips are having an internal rotation. So just notice any sensations that brings up for you. Let the knees be completely heavy in towards the center line of the body. Inhale in deeply. Exhale, see if you can relax them hips and really switch off the muscles, the deep muscles of the hips, the groin, the glutes, the hip flexors that work all day, every day for us. Notice any patterns in the mind. Try not to get too frustrated. The aim is never to create a silent mind. The aim is just to sit with any thoughts that come up and just let them pass by like clouds. The aim is to accept where we are right now and feel at ease and peace. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. One more, take a deep inhale and exhale. Gently walking the feet back to meet each other. We're going to work towards a twist. So first side we're going to do is the left. So if you've got any cushions behind you, just make sure that when you're laying down that you've got a nice neutral spine for the twist. We don't want to put too much pressure on the spine. So for the twist, you're going to bring your right knee as close to the chest as you can. And then you're going to place that right foot on the left knee. And see if you can let that right leg open out and get an external rotation with the hip. If that's not possible, then you can maybe just keep the knee bent as close as you can. And then we're going to let the legs fall over to the right. So the right foot's going to come over and the legs are going to be twisted towards the left. Sorry, my left and right are getting completely mixed up. You're going to let the right leg fall over to the left. You're going to place your arms outside like a T. And then you're going to look over your right shoulder. So looking over the right shoulder, the right leg is falling over to the left side. Left leg relaxed into the mat. Close down the eyes. And let's focus our awareness here on what this pose is doing. So it's twisting out. The twists are very effective to release any physical and emotional tension in the kidneys, the adrenal glands, the digestive system. And I want you to try and imagine the whole body as if it's a sponge. And just give yourself a little bit of forgiveness or patience if you feel as if you've soaked up any energy that you didn't necessarily want. Maybe some hurt or anger. Maybe some anxious thoughts that you can't quite shake off. Anything that you feel as if you've soaked up like a sponge. On the exhale, just see if you can let it go by letting them legs fall a little bit further towards the left. Take a deep breath in. Remind the body that it's safe. And on the exhale, really feel the body twist a little bit further. If your legs don't feel quite right or you want a bit of a change, you can gently lift the right leg and then place the feet together to both of the legs. The knees on top of them, both knees are on top, and they're twisting over to the left. So similar twist, but just a slightly different way for the legs to sit. Either way, you're going to be looking over your right shoulder, really letting the body be heavy. Acknowledging that it's normal to soak up the energy of ourselves, other people, situations, our past, our history. Just acknowledge that with these twists in the breath, it's possible to let go of anything that doesn't serve us. Let go of any disappointment, any fear, any frustration, any upset. We're going to hold here for 5 breaths, so quite a restorative pose. Let the body be heavy and connect with 5 breaths at your own pace. Using the breath at your own pace, that's your practice. See if you can lengthen the inhale. And the exhale, just twist a little bit further. Inhaling. Exhale. Take 2 more breaths. And then after your next exhale, you're going to very gently walk the knees back up to neutral. Let's reset the lower back. Let's bring the knees in towards the chest. Let's just gently rock from side to side. So imagining you're massaging the lower back. Just gently start to bringing that blood flow back into the hips. Lowering the feet back down to the mat. Let's inhale that left leg up this time. Left leg's going to go up and you're going to place the left leg on top of the right knee. Arms are going to come out like a T. If that causes any pain in the shoulders, you can place the arms either side of the body. Otherwise, you're going to let that left foot fall over to the right. So legs to the right, gaze to the left this time. So opposite side. And the first thing I want you to do is just notice what's different on this side. So everyone will have a different sensation on each side. So for me, I can really feel this a bit more in the side of my thigh, going into my bum muscles and my glutes, which I didn't on the other side. But if you're just noticing what's happening for you, no right or wrong answer of where you should be feeling it. As long as what you're feeling is a sensation that's never painful. More the edge of the stretch. Again, imagining the whole body as a sponge, soaked up with all that energy that we collect throughout the day, all the observations, the thought, the considerations, the humour, sadness, everything that happens as part of day-to-day life. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, imagining the torso being twisted out like that sponge. We can physically release all that energy so that the body can rest and relax. Inhaling deeply. Exhale. Staying here for 5 breaths at your own pace. Option if you want to on this side to change the leg position so the feet are together, ankles together, knees together, and let the legs fall over to the right. Wherever you are, just find your place of stillness for the next 5 breaths. Enjoy the pose, just with nowhere to go and nothing to do. Enjoy the complete stillness. Making sure the breaths are nice and long. So we want to exaggerate the inhale and exaggerate the exhale. We're not just breathing as a matter of course, we're breathing with intention. Intention to maximize our oxygen intake. An intention to release intention to release any tension. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then at your own pace, when you're ready, gently walk the knees back in. And let's again hook the knees in. And this time we're just going to take some circles. So you can take the knees apart and then round in circles. Or maybe you want to keep the knees together and do some circles. Just work with whatever's best for you. I want you to really connect in with the deep muscles of the hips. Move a little bit intuitively. Making sure that you extend the inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready, walk the feet back down to the mat. Walk the feet away from each other. Let the knees fall into the center line. And then just notice if your shoulders are scrunched up by your ears. See if you can lengthen in the spine. Maybe take the shoulders a little bit down towards the back, away from the ears. Keeping the eyes closed. We're going to this evening work with the energetic lines through the body and see if we can try and change the blood flow, change the energy flow. So I want you to inhale your hands up towards the sky and keep your hands in line with the shoulders, so nice straight lines. See if you can keep your shoulders completely connected to the ground. And just start to notice the blood flow of the arms down to the elbows, down to the shoulders. Keeping the hands nice and relaxed, but a gentle bend into the fingers. Keep the arms straight. And then we're going to work with a nice relaxed movement. So imagining that the hands are holding a ball above your head. On the inhale, you're going to bring that ball just above your chest, bend the elbows. On the exhale, you're going to take that ball up to the sky, straighten the arms. Keep the eyes closed if you can. Inhale, bend the elbows, bring the ball down to the chest. Exhale, take that ball up towards the sky. Inhale, down. Exhale up. Try and start to visualize the energy between the hands as you inhale down. Exhale. Imagining that space that you're holding between the hands. Inhale, bend the elbows. Exhale, up straight. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Pausing at the top, keep the arms nice and straight. Keep the eyes closed and just bring your awareness to the energy between the left and the right hand. Start to notice any pull or push energy between the left and right hand. Start to notice if the hands want to move closer together or further away. See if you can keep them in complete stillness. Remembering the shoulders are heavy into the ground. Continuing to take deep breaths in, deep breaths out. Doing that one more time. On the inhale, you're going to bend the elbows, bring that ball down towards the chest. On the exhale, take that ball up. On the inhale, bring all that energy down. On the exhale, take it up. Feel that connection between the left and right hand as you move. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Keep the arms up nice and straight. This time you're going to let the right hand fall down, so the right hand falls towards the shoulder. Left hand is going to fall towards the right shoulder. And I want you to see if you can walk your hands so that your arms are crossed over the chest. And you've got a nice relaxed sensation of the arms. So the shoulders, sorry, the elbows can be kind of round about the same place in the middle of the chest. Either way, I want you to find a place where you can let your arms go. So left arms over the right, right over to the left. Keep the eyes closed if you can. We've done the hip twists. We've twisted the lower back and the pelvis. Just getting a bit of a twist into the arms and the shoulders, but with the use of gravity. So really let the arms relax, let the shoulders relax, let the elbows relax. Relax the eyes and the eyelids. Let the arms be heavy and come back to the breath. We're practicing the body and the mind, trying to find more ease with focusing on the breath. Take 2 more breaths here. And then after your next exhale, you're going to very gently unravel your arms, take them back to the sky. And for now, we're just going to keep the arms into the sky, but you're going to circle your wrists. So starting to create some fire in the wrists, some energy. See if you can take them circles quite quick. Keep the eyes closed. And then change direction with the wrists. And then when you're ready, find some stillness with the arms. Let the left arm move over to the right shoulder. And then right arm to left. And then again on the opposite side. So whichever arm was crossed over, just cross them over the opposite way. Close down the eyes and connect back in with this pose for 5 breaths. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Gently unraveling the arms. Hook the knees in towards the chest. And then let's just start to rock from side to side. And then option to put the feet back down to the floor and find a comfortable position laying down. Or option to join me in a comfortable seated position. I'm going to put my hands onto the back of the legs and just rock up and down until I can come to a comfortable seated position. So we're going to work with breath, pranayama, meditation style pose. So ideally with meditation, we want to be in a seated position. We want the spine to be nice and straight. If you are seated, then you can get a cushion and just prop it under the back of your hips, kind of like the coccyx area, so that the hips are tilted forward. Hands are going to come to the knees. If sitting in a pose like this isn't right for you, then you can do this lay down. But if you are laid down, then I still want you to make sure that you've got a nice long spine. So really walk the shoulders away from the ears. Try and melt the back into the ground. If you're not sure then which pose to take, then just acknowledge that the more you practice a seated pose, the more the body will learn to sit in that pose with stillness. And the deeper we can go into the meditation. So find in that place of stillness, find the right place for your feet, your legs, your arms. I'm going to meditate this evening with my hands and my palms face down, because this practice, the live class, is on a Sunday night. It's just gone 9 p.m. So I'm ready to ground for the evening, to feel nice and centered and let go. So placing the palms face towards the ground. If you're laying down, then palms also face towards the ground. This isn't right for your shoulders, then you can place the palms faced up. Close down the eyes. Imagine you've got a nice space in your chin and your chest. Check in with your posture, drop your shoulders away from your ears. And then we're going to connect in with the 4-way breath, so box breath. So find your place of stillness and then take an inhale for the count of 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top of your breath for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. The end of your exhale, just pause. Inhale for 3. Hold your breath for 3. Drop the shoulders, nice and relaxed. Exhale for 3. And then just pause in complete stillness. Inhale in deeply. Hold the breath. Exhale out. Pause. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Pause. I want you to carry on with this at your own pace. So making the meditative quite personal to you. I want you to say the word silently in your mind. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Pause. Continuing with the 4-way breath at your own pace. Use the silent words in your mind as a reminder. 4 ways, connecting the breath and the body and the mind. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Pause. Inhale, hold, exhale, pause. Continuing with that breath for a few more moments at your own pace. Start to notice the body is speaking to the mind. Maybe a couple of aches, maybe a couple of pains, maybe want you to move into the next pose. Focus on them 4-way breath. Body doesn't need to do anything other than breathe. Inhale, hold, exhale, pause. With every breath in, feel the oxygen entering the body. With every pause at the hold at the top of your breath, feel stillness. With every exhale, feel any tension leave the body. When you pause after the exhale, notice the silence. Continue with that your own pace. A few more breaths. 4-way breath. Inhale, hold, exhale, pause. To your last round of breath. If you're in a seated position, then just gently opening the eyes, starting to sway the body from left to right. Just start to bring a little bit of movement into the body. And we're going to come back down to a supported pose for the relaxation part. So option here to take any intuitive poses. So maybe it might feel quite nice to take some head rolls, maybe some shoulder rolls, maybe some arm twists, reach to the sky, whatever it is that feels intuitive to you. Let the body talk to you. Listen to what the body says. And then when you're ready, we're going to set up for a restorative heart opener. So if you've not got cushions, then you can still do the pose, but if you can, just try and grab a couple of cushions or even a jumper or whatever you've got handy. And you're going to place the cushions so that we're going to lie down on our back. But when we lie down on the back, we want the cushions to support the back of the heart. So ideally, if you've got maybe like a long pillow off the bed, you can place it where the spine is going to go on the mat. Or maybe just a couple of cushions. And then when you're ready, gently walking yourself so that the back of the bottom of the lower back is at the base of the cushions. And you've got options with your legs. Legs can be out straight. Knees can be bent, and you can have your legs into butterfly, so soles of the feet together. Or legs can be crossed in lotus with the foot in the opposite crease of the thigh. Wherever you are, see if you can shuffle your bum a bit closer to the cushions. And then sitting up nice and tall, making sure the spine's nice and straight. If I was there with you now, just imagine I was gently pushing your shoulders away from your ears. Imagine an invisible line at the top of your head, gently pulling up the spine so it's nice and straight. And then very slowly just start to lower the spine back down the cushions. So ideally here we want the heart space to be open. If you don't have cushions, that's absolutely fine. What we're going to do to open the heart either way is we're going to inhale the hands up to the sky. And then on the exhale, you're going to cactus the arms either side. So if you can let the arms fall slightly above the head, maybe in line with the head, the ears. Keep the elbows bent if you can. And then just let the arms fall where it feels natural. So for me tonight, it feels quite natural to straighten my arms out. Let my arms be nice and heavy. And then I want you to close down your eyes. I want you to listen to what the body's saying. If there's any particular part of you that needs to move, then just take an adjustment. So this practice might feel quite slow. It might even be frustrating. Let's remind ourselves of our intention. We want to start to enjoy the stillness and continue to learn how to let go. So with the eyelids nice and heavy, starting to imagine that heart space opening up towards the sky. Acknowledging that it's human to have fear and anger and hurt. Maybe make us quite defensive, get closed off in the heart space. And just acknowledge the sensation of the heart opening towards the sky. See if you can imagine the arms nice and heavy, releasing any of that tension around the heart space, any tension around the back of the shoulders. Starting to notice the weight of the body into the ground. How does it feel to be fully supported by the earth? Fully supported by the cushions under your back? And fully supported by the practice and energy of yoga? What is stopping you releasing any of that tension around the heart space? Just being completely open to kindness and compassion. Let's start to connect to the breath together. Let's start to inhale in for 3 and exhale for 3. Inhale for 3. Exhale for 3. Continuing at that pace. Count the breath silently in your mind. In, out, in, out. If you can enjoy the silence and the stillness, there's an opportunity to completely let go and rest and restore. Notice any sensations that move in the body. Quite a dynamic heart opener. If there's any tension or sensations in the front of the armpits, the muscles that connect the shoulders down to the chest, quite often can create tension. Feeling as if we've got the weight of the world on the shoulders, we start to hunch over. We start to feel heavy. Notice the sensation of the shoulders feel nice and open. Chest feeling nice and open. The heart feeling nice and open. Starting to notice any sensations in the throat area. The throat chakra is where we communicate our truth. Start to notice if there's any frogs in the throat, anything blocking you speaking your truth. Starting to imagine the colour blue around the throat area, like cooling water, maybe a bright blue sky. Start to connect back in with the breath, taking a deep inhale and exhale. We're going to stay in this pose for 5 more breaths. So maybe seeing if you can just really release the heart space up towards the sky. Release the shoulders to the ground, nice and heavy. Connecting with the breath. Silently repeating yourself in the mind. As you breathe in. As you exhale, out. In, out. Option to stay here for the final relaxation. If you have any kind of tension or any difficulty in the back, then maybe move into more traditional Shavasana. Maybe by rolling onto one side and releasing any of the cushions. Before we come to Shavasana, I want you to try and take any movement that feels intuitive. So it can also be quite intuitive to take a counter pose. So maybe moving onto the front, sitting back onto your heels, maybe walking down the hands to a child's pose. Noting the change in the energy space. And then just gently finding the place of relaxation for you this evening. So this is the joy of having a nice, comfy, chilled practice with lots of props. See if you can use the props to your benefit. So maybe propping a cushion under the back of your knees can be really good for lower back. My favourite is to pop 2 cushions under each leg, so one under each leg, so that your legs are raised very slightly off the ground but fully supported. If you've got any shoulder issues or arm issues, then also popping a cushion under that arm so that it can completely relax. It's also great. If you've got a little bit chilly, or to maybe go a little bit deep, maybe pop a blanket on top of you. And just finding that place of stillness in Shavasana. So I'm going to stay in a seated position this evening so that I can talk you through a guided Shavasana. The kindest thing anyone in the world can do is to give up their Shavasana. It's a gift for you to have a deeper Shavasana. So in the traditional Shavasana corpse pose, our legs are heavy, feet are mat width distance, or if you're laying on the bed, they're just slightly wider than hip width distance. Feet fall out to the side, so right toes towards the right, left towards the left. Spine nice and long. Arms either side of the body, and see if you can create a little bit of space between the body and the hands. Palms faced up. Close down the eyes if they're not already closed. And then to set up for Shavasana this evening, I want you to remember what it is that you brought onto the mat at the start of practice. Just acknowledging that everyone is carrying something that we either openly admit or whether it's happening deep in our thoughts or our anxieties. Acknowledge what part of the practice you're at now, that we're just ready to set the body up for final relaxation. So we really want to bring to our awareness anything that's happening for us this evening so that we can bring it to Shavasana and completely let go. Letting go of the breath completely. Just acknowledging that you've focused on the breath for the last 60 minutes. And really start to lengthen and deepen the inhale and exhale. And Shavasana is the time to do the complete opposite. Just let the body completely relax. Bring the awareness instead to the stillness and the weight of the body. Ensure that the eyelids are nice and heavy. Ensure that the eyebrows are nice and heavy. The nose, the cheekbones. Relax the jawline. If it feels nice, then just gently let the jaw open slightly. Very small gap between the lips. Starting to notice the space in the neck, the front of the neck, the voice box. Completely letting the body be heavy from the shoulders. And seeing if you can visualize some warm lavender oil, your favourite scent, just gently being massaged into the top of your shoulders, into the muscles of the neck where we hold our responsibility, and to the front of the shoulders, maybe the top of the heart space, the top of the chest. Feeling a warm quality over the neck and the shoulders. Start to bring your awareness to the left arm. Start to notice any sensations in the forearm. The heaviness of the hand. The heaviness of the fingers, the thumb, the wrist. Bringing your awareness across to the right arm. Notice that the muscles of the right hand and the forearm may be still a little bit active, ready to move to the next pose. Silently repeat to yourself in your mind. My body is in complete stillness. weight of the right arm and the left arm. Noticing your space around the middle of the chest and the heart chakra. Noticing any colours that come to your awareness. See if you can start to notice the colour green surrounding the heart space, the front and the back. Notice what shade of green, whether it's vibrant, whether it's more cooling. Gently working your awareness down to the stomach, solar plexus, just below the ribs, above the belly button. The fire in our belly, gut feeling. We know all these sayings. Just start to really connect with what your gut is telling you, what feels right in your life. What gives you that sense of living your life exactly how you want to. Connecting with people exactly how it feels right. Starting to work down to the groin area, the left hip and the right hip. Noticing any sensations in the back of the hamstrings, which we've worked this evening to release any tension. Let's come back to that mantra silently on our mind. My body is in complete stillness. Notice the weight of the legs, both completely heavy, all the way down to the tip of the toes. And then we're going to start to bring our awareness to the energy of the whole body. Starting at the right toe, starting to notice the energy up the right leg, down the side of the right body, the right side of the body, down the right arm, the right side of the neck, the right ear, the top of the head, all the way down the left ear, left side of the neck, left shoulder, down the left arm, left side of the body, all the way down to the left tips of the toes. Just enjoy the last couple of moments in Shavasana, letting the body be completely heavy. Feeling as if this is exactly where your body and mind needs to be. Start to connect back in with the breath by taking an inhale in. And this time let's sigh it out. Inhale in. Exhale, sigh. See if you can keep your eyes closed, but just start to roll your head from side to side. Start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Take your arms above your head and do a big stretch as if you're trying to make the body as long as possible. Roll over onto your left side. Tuck yourself into a fetal position with your knees close to your chest. And then very slowly, at your own pace, you're going to start to push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. See if you can keep the eyes closed or at least the gaze a little bit soft. And then find a comfortable seated position. So I'm covered by pillows and blankets, but for me this evening I'm going to finish in spaghetti legs. So my knees are bent and just crossed over with the feet on opposite sides. So if that feels right, maybe try that for you. It can be quite nice in spaghetti legs to hold the feet with the hands. Just find a nice comfortable seated position. Cross-legged, knees in front, knees bent, whatever it is for you, just find your position to finish the practice in. Start to connect back in with the breath. You're going to take a deep breath in and really raise the arms towards the sky. And on the exhale out, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Keep your hands at heart. Prayer at heart center. Gently lower your gaze towards your hands. And before we close the practice, reflecting back on how you felt 60 minutes ago. Congratulating yourself for sitting with stillness with the body and the mind and breath for 60 minutes. Always remembering that the body deserves time to stop, rest and restore. Remind yourself it's never selfish to take that time. And also remind yourself how beneficial it can be for those around you to connect with that sense of inner balance so that we can connect on a more genuine level with those around us. More loving, more kindness, more understanding. Gently bring your hands at prayer to your third eye. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Bring your hands to your lips. Know that you can always speak your truth. And gently bring your hands to your heart and know that you are completely loved and supported. Option to set yourself an intention going forward into the next day, week, month, year. Know that the power of intention is always in your hands. And by practicing a regular yoga practice, it becomes more natural and intuitive. The light in me sees and acknowledges the light in you. Gently bowing your head to your hands and the practice and the energy for each other this evening, or wherever you are practicing with this session. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed the class and feel nice and relaxed.
Thank you.